Hey folks, it is August 17th, 2022, back here at Boardwalk Hall. I'm here in the Great Division, and one of you, actually several of you, have asked for a video talking about percussions and other, what some would say, theater organ related stops. So, okay, sounds like a good idea, so let's do it. Now, I'm in the lower level of the Great Division, and behind me you can see a magnificent Deegan harp. This has metal bars with the kind of like piano hammer action, and I'm going to take the camera off the tripod. Actually, I'm not going to take it off the tripod. I'm going to leave it on the tripod and show this guy. It's hard to go over there and try to thunk some of the hammers and get some sound out of it, so I figure I'll go to the console later and play it, and that'll be a better demonstration. But in the Midmer-Losh organ, the vast majority of the percussions are in the right main chamber. There are a couple in the left, but most of it is in the right. Now, for those of you who have been on the tour, there is the door down to the organ shop. Okay? And this is the big tibia, the big 32-bit tibia. And so if you turn, there's the harp right here. So if you've taken the public tour, this is very easily accessible. Now, one of the most interesting percussions in the entire organ is this horrific, dangerous contraption right here, which is the gong. That tubular bell, that tube right there, I don't know how much that weighs, but it's about 6 or 8 feet long, I don't know exactly. And look at the hammer on that thing. I'm going to put down my light. Picture having a sledgehammer hit a mallet like that. And the pneumatic is up there. And I'm going to try to hold the camera here so you can see. I mean, it would take a lot of force. I can't even, just going by hand, to get it to strike. And I'm not going to try to do it because they're giving a tour in the hall right now. Might be a little distracting for the visitors. But that is the gong, and it's just here by itself. So then we turn, and we continue on. Into this kind of dark corner, and we have the xylophone. I'm going to try to put down my flashlight. I believe those are rosewood bars. Two rows. For whatever reason, there just aren't a lot of lights back here in this corner. And it looks like the batteries are dying on this flashlight. Let me see if I can get another light here. Oh, that's better. There we go. Now you can see it better. Arranged diatonically, of course. Beautiful thing. And I think this does re-it and single strike. So and just for reference, we look down, and there's the floor of the chamber down there. And turning around, there's the grill. So I'm going to go down a level. There are a couple of sets of percussions beneath where I am, and it's not worth filming all the climbing. Alright, down here on the main floor of the great chamber, I've moved over sort of to the center of the chamber, and there we can see some chimes. Now that's only half of the set, because there's a structural girder up there, and so this is one diatonic side of the main organ chimes in the organ. Which is interesting because the grill is up there. You can kind of see the light peeking through, so they are completely down below the level of the grill, right up against the wall. And as I say, this is only half of them, and they are massive. I don't know a lot about chimes per se, but if you look at as with everything else in this organ, the scale of it is pretty amazing. They have those reinforced tops on there. Those are not ordinary organ chimes like I'm used to seeing. I'll leave the shot back out here. So, as I say, this is one half, and then on the other side of that structural member, there's another half. All right, so if you turn around and crawl back out here, oh, I can take this way. Here we are. This should look familiar. Here's our old friends, the diaphones, right? The 64, and there's the organ shop out there. And then up above is the toy counter. And I'm going to climb up there and show you that. Okay, it's taken some doing to get up here. This is this strange little corner with some diaphones in it, and I think I'm right next to, forget which note this is. This is one of the upper octave of the 64-foot diaphone over here in the corner. But this is where the toy counter ended up. And so we have the usual accoutrement, a wood block, a drum. Get the angle here. Castanets right there. Tambourine. There's a triangle out there. Crash cymbal. And more cymbals. There is a snare drum out there, and then the bass drum is further out, which I will climb down. Well, actually, you can see the corner. You can see a little bit of the bass drum down there. I'll climb down there in a second. But this is the heart of the action. If you want, this is as much theater organ stuff as you get in this organ, basically. Not the most elaborate toy counter, but I guess it gets the job done. So I'm going to climb down to that next level. Okay, it's kind of hard to get a shot here because I'm right up against the front wall, but there is another cymbal. And the action for the bass drum. And there's the bass drum. And there's the actual pneumatic that actually plays the bass drum, and this is a damper down here. And there you can see the snare from below. And this camera can't get a wide enough shot, but that is the bass drum. It's about 4 feet around. And it is a Ludwig. There it says. And if you remember, that's where I was standing when I did the tour of the 32-foot stops, right here in this exact same corner. And there's a couple of the 64-foot diaphones going on down, etc. So I'm going to wrap it up on this side and move over to the left chamber. All right, I've moved the rig over here. I'm in the left main chamber. I'm in the bottom of the swell choir division, and I was told that there's a glockenspiel in here and on the lower level. And Nathan told me it was in here, and I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is. Down there. Oh, isn't that nice? It's kind of on a level of its own down there. It is below all of the pipework, and it is in front of the shades, barely. But there is the glockenspiel. Zoom in a little bit, see if I can get down there. Because that's quite hard to climb down there. Whoop. But there it is. It's actually quite effective. But there is the glockenspiel with metal bars. In 2 rows. You can't see the front row. This is only half of it. And then way up top in this same chamber is the marimba, which I'll show you here in a second. And last stop, marimba. You've seen this before if you've watched any of my videos. This is in the very, very top of the chamber. Here's the ceiling of the organ chamber in the swell choir division. And this is a marimba with beautiful rosewood bars. Made by Mayland. Read that right there. And this is where they chose to put the stop list for the chamber. Right on the harp. And if you want to, you can look down all the way to the bottom of the chamber, 40-some feet, all the way down there, straight down. Boy, that is a mess of swell shades. Of course, these are the swell choir mutation stops with the 9ths and the 7ths and 11ths and all that. So, that concludes this tour of the Percussions in the Midmer-Losh. Hope you liked it.